In the beginning, there was nothing but God, and God made everything. He made humans named Adam and Eve and put them in a garden. He told them to take care of the garden and that they could eat anything but the fruit from a tree in the center of the garden. But they decided to eat it, which became the first sin. Then they got exiled from the garden by God because they sinned. Then they had three sons named Cain, Abel, and Seth. But Cain killed Abel and got banished, so God chose to work through Seth instead of Cain. And then Seth's great-grandson's name was Enoch, who was an almost perfect human, and God took him up to heaven instead of him dying. But before he got taken up to heaven, he had a son named Methuselah, whose name means, "When I die, judgment comes." Methuselah's grandson is Noah, who God told there would be a flood because humans are wicked, and he needed to build a boat and take animals so that not everything dies. And then the day Methuselah dies, it starts to rain, and it rains for the next 40 days, and the whole earth gets flooded. Then Noah has three sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. Shem's descendants One of Shem's descendants was Abram. Abram was deeply loved by God, and God named him Abraham instead of Abram, and God said he would make a nation out of him. And Abraham scoffed at this because he was in his 90s and thought that he would never have kids because he didn't currently have kids. But then he had a kid named Isaac because anything can be possible through God. And then God told him to sacrifice his son to him as a test of faith to see if he truly trusts him. So he does it, but right before he's about to kill him, an angel sent from God gives him a ram to sacrifice instead. And then Isaac has two sons, Jacob and Esau, who are twins, and they don't agree on anything. And then Esau comes back from an unsuccessful day of hunting and tells his brother he needs food. So his brother Jacob says, "Give me your birthright so that I will get all of our father's stuff." And then Esau agrees, so Isaac steals the birthright from him. And then Isaac tells a servant to go find a proper woman for Jacob to marry. And then the servant finds a woman named Rebecca who fits all the characteristics that Isaac laid out for Jacob to marry, and introduces them, and they get married. And then Jacob has 12 sons. Their names were Reuben, Simeon, Levi, Judah, Issachar, Zebulun, Gad, Asher, Dan, Naphtali, Joseph, and Benjamin. But before Benjamin was born, Joseph was spoiled and loved the most by Jacob, so his brothers faked his death and sold him into slavery in Egypt. But he ended up becoming the second highest person in all of Egypt and saved his brothers from a famine a few years later, including their brother Judah, who the line of Jesus comes from.